Thank you for listening to this PodcastOne production. Now available on Apple Podcasts, PodcastOne, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.
PodcastOne presents the Steve Austin Show Classics.
Let's go on down to South Texas. Let's go down to the Broken Skull Ranch via the telephone and talk to my main man, Ted Fowler. He's down there fighting a hurricane, which is down there in Mexico. It busted up South Texas, getting some much-needed rain still. Teddy, you there? What's happening?
Yeah, no, just hanging out, waiting for the storm to pass.
Hey, man, how's the job going on over there?
Oh, it's going good. It's going good. I mean, short of all the mud, but everything's, progressing nicely.
Now, what is this job you're doing now? Now, we have some neighbors over there. Understand, folks, new listeners to the show, I've got 2,100 acres down there in South Texas, the Broken Skull Ranch. Ted's doing some work on the neighboring ranch, and they had a little outfit over there, and so you're kind of just expanding that and putting on another room or two?
Yeah, put on 2 rooms, a bathroom, and a kitchen. So they had 2 bedrooms already and, cooking in the same place and going to the bathroom out in the brush, so we tried to make it a little more civilized.
How many inches of rain we got down there since you've been down there trying to work?
And probably 4 or 5.
How's the ranch looking? Is it green?
Yeah, it's real green and real wet.
You seen any deer?
No, nothing's come floating by.
They're still growing their horns. That'll be about 3/4 through growing their horns by now?
Yeah, they should still be in velvet, but yeah, they should, show some good size by now.
It's dove season down in South Texas here in a couple of days. Have you been seeing any doves flying?
Yeah, dove season opens up Saturday, so, if we can find a dry place to stand, we should do all right. The evening flight is a lot better than the morning flight.
Well, I got to ask you a question. We got one of our tanks that we like to hunt over. It's called a shark tank. We had about a 5-foot alligator over there, and I know you were worried about Cassie, your chocolate lab, getting out there and getting them birds. Are we going to have any issues with that?
No, I don't know what happened. The alligator is no longer there.
Yeah,
I mowed it the other day and didn't see it, so...
It probably moved off. So Cassie will be in effect, and she'll be retrieving doves for us?
Yeah.
Well, she'll be retrieving doves for you, because usually about that first week of dove season, I'll shoot about 4 boxes of shells a day and won't hit a goddamn thing. I might hit 2 birds out of 4 boxes. I love shooting at the son bitches. I just can't get them to fall. And it's bad because, I'm not too proud. I'll sneak up on a motherfucking dove. If it's sitting in a tree, I'll belly crawl through the brush to get a shot at that son bitch. I don't care. My shooting on the wing percentage is for shit.
Nothing against shooting them off of the high line.
Hey, we got deer season coming up, and you and I were talking about building you another deer gun. You'd been shooting my 308 for the last couple of years, and you've been enjoying that. So you had decided to build your own. So we started doing some research and trying to build this gun, and we talked to a lot of damn people. And you ended up picking the people down there, outfit out of West Virginia called Blackheart International, right?
That's correct.
So what's the story? What's the caliber? What's the barrel length? What's the story with this gun?
It's a 308, custom job, 24-inch barrel. Just a regular barrel. The guy, turned me off to the bull barrel once he smartened me up on, the practicality of, a bull barrel. And it's not very practical, for hunting, but, they're making it.
So they told me they was going to hotfoot this thing and you'd have it by this deer season, so that'll be cool.
Yeah, I think the only thing that's going to slow them down, they got a special order of stock because, my arms are so long that, other than that, it should be, well, I hope it's here for deer season. I'll be shooting yours.
I'll arm wrestle you for it. Goddamn, Ted Fowler's got arms longer than Sasquatch's. I might have to get on a booster table to arm wrestle your ass. Hey, I was thinking about when we come down there, all of our game cameras are broken, battered, or a piece of shit. We need to replace those things. Are we going to be able to get around and put up some game cameras?
Tentatively, yeah. I mean, if it quits raining in the next day or two, but, by this weekend, we should be able to get off of the roads. I mean, I wouldn't walk off of the main roads right now. It's so muddy.
That sounds pretty bad.
Yeah.
And I just saw the breakup stuff that was coming through South Texas, and I thought some of it was going to touch the ranch, but I think it's going to be any big issue. But shit, the way you talk, every time I talk to you, it's raining.
No, you know what? It's not crazy, but it's just a steady rain. I mean, an inch every day it can't dry up, it can't drain off, it can't go anywhere. I guess San Antonio is absolutely getting hammered.
Well, this thing, man, there's all that flash flooding. I mean, we need the rain, we need the water, but some people are getting it down there, especially poor folks in Colorado getting their ass beat by that stuff. We certainly need some in South Texas, but we've been fortunate this year. Over the past 4 years, 5 years, however long it's been, we've been in a drought. All of our tanks dried up, and we were able to take a big 4,000-foot-long piece of 4-inch poly pipe and drag it around from a couple of those tanks from that water well that we had drilled out there and fill some of them up. And now that it's been raining so much, everything is topped off real good. But there's a lot of people that are in a bad way that need that water. So I'm glad. A couple of years ago, we were getting all of our neighbors were getting rained like a sumbitch, and none of it would hit the ranch. And we was drier than a tumbleweed. So
well, we got plenty of rain now, and I mean it's beautiful. Everything is green. I'm glad I mowed around the perimeter, got that done before this big rain came. Otherwise, I'd really be set back on that. But boy, everything is green and growing. Should be a good year.
Well, what happened the other day? I heard the lightning strike or something happened, and the power was down, so you didn't have no electricity for a while?
No, for 9 hours. Yeah, I guess lightning struck the transformer station, whatever, in Tilden. And of course the parts, I don't know where they had to go to get them, but it wasn't close. Yeah, so,
Hey.
No power means no TV, no water, no air conditioning, and it's raining, so little quiet reflection time.
Hey, man, I was down in Mexico filming Redneck Island last time the power went out, and you went down there, and I guess the power had been out for a couple of weeks, and you'd open the freezers, and there was maggots like a motherfucker everywhere, correct?
That is correct.
So how long of a leeway time do we have there? If power's down for 9 hours, we don't like to keep the freezers too stock full anymore when we're not there. But is that meat still frozen after the 9-hour mark? Are we still good with what I have in my freezer? Because I'm coming down.
Yeah, no, all that's good. I mean, keeping the doors closed keeps all of that stuff, as cold as can be. If the power was off for more than a day, then I'd say it was hassles. And, that barrel came off of that transformer, and, Lordy, there's no telling how long the power had been out. I mean, it was 4 or 5 days easy.
So the guys down there from Three Rivers supposed to come up and pick up your Kawasaki mule and take it into the shop and get it fixed. Did they drop off my Broncos and take your mule back?
No, man. The only one working today is me. A little bit of rain, everybody stops. I haven't seen anybody.
Is there nobody's on the property right now?
No, sir.
Well, you got your dogs, right?
Yeah.
Goddamn. Yeah, you got any hookers out there?
Here in Tilden or at the ranch?
At the ranch.
No, it's too muddy. They won't come out either.
Hookers in South Texas driving 4-wheel drive vehicles.
Yeah. Most of those hookers got 2-wheel drive, so it's nothing. They're all in the city.
Hey, you're single right now, right?
Yes, sir.
How's that working for you?
Well, you know where I live, Rockport. There's not a whole lot going on. Once again, it's like that rain out with no power, a lot of quiet reflection.
Quiet reflection. Man, I tell you what, I got up this morning, and I was going to cruise over to Walgreens and pick up a couple of prescriptions and take Hershey for a ride and get me a Red Bull to drink on the way to work. And I picked up my prescriptions, and I tell you what, 20 Cialis will cost you $353. Did you know that?
No.
30 Ambien will cost you $306 for a month's supply. That's $659 a month for me to sleep and fuck.
That's a lot of 308 shells.
Damn. That's $659 I've got to come up with every single month to stay happy because I can't stop sleeping. I got to have some sleep, and I can't sleep worth a shit. And goddamn, a man got to fuck. If you ain't fucking, you ain't happy. I can't stop fucking. I like to be happy. There's $659 on top of the monthly nut that I already got in form of a mortgage, a lease car, and everything else. This show is for the working man, Ted Fowler, and you can follow Ted Fowler at Ted Fowler 361. God damn it, Teddy, $659 for a man's happiness. What do you think about that?
You're happy that you're getting laid, but you're pissed because you got to buy the Cialis.
Don't get me wrong. I could fuck without it. I'd just rather fuck with it. I'm going to take any kind of damn PED I can to make my life happy. Art, are you still there on the line?
Right here, Steve.
All right. Art, at $353 for 20 pills, let's divide that by 30. 353 divided by 30. What is that?
$353. I got to get out my rocket scientist calculator here. 350 divided by 30 is going to give you a grand total of $1167.
$1167 a day. $1167 a day. Okay, now, we talked about hookers earlier, and the reason I was asking is Ted's single. I'm not. I'm married, happily married. Don't need the hookers. But let's say, for instance, this is for the working man, that I was single and I needed a hooker. Art, what's the going rate of a hooker?
According to Havascope.com, which supplies info on the global black market, the average price for oral sex in the United States right now runs about $20 to $50.
$20 to $50 for a blowjob.
The average price for sexual intercourse will run the consumer anywhere between $50 and $100.
The consumer. So I can get a blowjob for $20 to $50 and sex for $50 to $100. That covers kind of all my stuff. I don't venture too far out in anything else. Man, these prices, I never paid for a piece of ass myself, Art.
No, I have not. I think that
just straight up with me. We've been talking on email since you've been putting all these clips together for the show, but we never, just sat down and broke bread and had some conversations and then, just really got to know each other.
Get down.
You can be straight up with me. Have you paid for a piece of ass?
Straight up, I have never paid for a piece of ass. I like to think that I'm pretty good at getting it without having to pay for it.
Hey, there's a man with confidence, just like he said at the beginning of the show. But if you were to pay, what would be your maximum limit?
If I had for intercourse or oral sex?
Hey, let's go both. You just want a blowjob.
All right, my maximum for a blowjob, I'd say $20.
God, you cheap motherfucker.
I'm a cheap bastard, dude.
Fowler, you've been around the horn. Is $20 going to get him a good blowjob?
Nope.
He's spoken by the man. Hey, you want to think about that for a second?
Talk about confident. He sure seems to know.
All right, so, what's going to get us – let's go out of this range, Art. I'm not comfortable in this range. That's pretty much bargain basement stuff. Put me up in the Premier League.
Oh, Premier League blowjob is going to cost you about $250.
250 clams. Okay, now to get laid, what's that going to run me?
That could run starting anywhere from about $750 to $1,000.
$750 to $1,000. Work the blowjob in there. Hey, you probably work a 2-for-1. You might come out of that thing for $1,000, $1,250. Toss in a tip or something like that. Am I correct?
Absolutely. You got to tip your girls, dude.
Fallow, how you feel about that? Now, I know you're the working man down there, and I'm just thinking, highline stuff here, but what's the going rate down there in the neck of the woods that you've been hanging out in? I'm not saying that you frequent these places all the time. I'm just saying word on the street down there in that neck of the woods.
I was going to say, I'm going to have to plead the fifth.
Hey, no one listens to this show anyway, so you're not telling nobody nothing.
Man, I was going to say, if you can get a 2-for-1 for $1,000, you got better negotiating skills than I do.
Really?
Yeah.
God damn it. $1,000 down there in them neck of the woods?
No, I ain't talking down here in South Texas. No.
Oh, okay. Jesus Christ. I was fixing what the fuck, dude?
No, dude, we're traveling. We were,
I know where you at.
Yeah.
Dude, you're up in Houston. What are you talking about? That's all you had to say. God dang it.
Hey, Steve.
Yeah.
This goes for Fowler, too. We were just doing some research back here. What country do you think the highest-priced hookers in the world are from?
Man, that's a good question, Art.
We know the answer, but I want to know what you think.
No, I'm glad you brought that up. Fowler, go ahead and give me your guess.
Man,
I'm going
to say somewhere where they got, blonde hair like Switzerland or Scandinavia or, one of those places.
Man,
those chicks, that they're smoking hot, that's for sure.
All right, well, I'm going to go Russia.
You both would be incorrect.
God damn it, Art.
Russians are starving to death, man. They're doing it for potatoes.
What shit, dude, what I know. I'm in Los Angeles doing this show for the working man, trying to go down to the Broken Skull Ranch to put up some game cameras. I'm married, happily married. I ain't out paying for pussy. Why am I supposed to be an authority on the subject? Art, where does the most expensive pussy reside?
If you were to think back over history and give yourself some time to consider where the oldest prostitution might be from, you would immediately arrive at Paris, France.
Paris.
And the Moulin Rouge and the things, all that shit from back in the, the 1200s? I don't know.
Let me bust out a little French for you. Oui. Bilingual like a motherfucker here on the Steve Austin Show. You'd probably be able to find some pretty good trim down there in Mexico at a good dime, right? Art, you got any kind of more scientific facts for us?
I can tell you what the average hooker in Paris makes.
Oh, please do.
For these high-end prices. It will cost you about, I don't know if that breaks down in the euros, but it's about $4,000.
4,000 clams.
4,000 smackaroos, dude.
Shit, man, I think, I don't know. At $4,000, as cheap as I am, I'll spend some money on a Blackheart International gun or a good scope from Miopta, but I might have to just resort to jerking off on that deal. I mean, I got to draw a line somewhere, Fowler. If I can do that, drop my sleeping pill, drink a beer or two every now and then, I think I can make it.
Dude, $4,000 and buy you another gun.
You keep the gun in the closet. The hooker, you can't.
I had to sell the Fort Knox safe to get the piece of ass. All right, let's take it out of the gutter. I got Fowler on the other end of the line down there in South Texas. I got Art in the other room looking up the price of pussy. We're going to come back after listening to a word from our sponsors who keep this show on the air for free. Coming back to talk about motivation, working out, and all of that shit. Hey, man, do you own or rent your home? Sure you do, and I bet it can be hard work. You know what's easy? Bundling policies with Geico. Geico makes it easy to bundle your homeowners or renters insurance along with your auto policy. It's a good thing, too, because you already have so much to do around your home. Go to geico.com, get a quote, and see how much you could save. It's Geico easy. Visit geico.com today. That's geico.com.
This is the Steve Austin Show. Steve Austin Unleashed.
All right, everybody, rolling back in here to show. I got my buddy at Ted Fowler 361 on the end of the line. He's down at the Broken Skull Ranch getting his ass rained on. He's out of work. He's fixing to start working out, and that's the subject we're about to address. I get questions all the time. When you guys send your questions, suggestions, and comments to questions@steveaustinshow.com, I read every single one of them. I can't respond back to every single one of them because I get a shit pile of them, but I read them. And one of the questions that I get asked all the time is, what keeps me motivated? And I'm assuming this is, it's all gym related. And, because sometimes, I get in the gym and I get, I get on a real good tear and I get my consistency down. I got my workouts down and I'm hitting it hardcore and I'm doing good. And when I'm working out good, I feel good, just in my head and physically, in general. When I'm busting my ass, I feel better. But sometimes I'll get into a little bit of a lull, and things kind of go off the fucking deep end, and I kind of derail myself. So, man, I guess what keeps me motivated personally is just trying to look my best and feel my best. Now, I'm not a bodybuilder. I don't have bodybuilding genetics. I'm not a power lifter. I'm just trying to keep my ass in shape. And with all the beatings that I went through over the years, you just got to take care of yourself. So looking good and feeling good is what keeps me motivated. But there's many times where I'll hit a lull. Like as of late, I kind of got dragged down. I became complacent with the way I was training. I was just kind of in there, and I woke up kind of in a haze a couple of days ago, and I was right in the middle of my workout, and I don't remember what I was training. It was chest back or something. I was like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? I was lollygagging around. I must have been doing some dumbbell inclines or something like that. And I was like, man, what are you doing? I wasn't concentrating. I wasn't feeling the weights. I wasn't feeling the reps. My head wasn't in it. I was zoned out. And I guess bottom line is what I'm saying. I've been training like a pussy for the last few months, a total vagina. And it's just because I got out of the mode. I was going. And certainly going to the gym is better than not going to the gym, but I kind of lost my way. And so the other day I woke my ass up and I said, hey, I looked myself in the mirror and I looked and I said to myself, dude, look at your fat fucking ass. What has become of you? Been eating potato chips and drinking beer and eating all this bullshit. And all of a sudden I'm one of those cats where I was at about 250 a couple of weeks ago, And all of a sudden, I got on a scale the other day, and my sorry ass weighed 260 pounds because I let myself go. And I do this all the time because, I like beer. I just need to learn to pick my spots. Because with me, one beer turns into 3, turns into 7, then you get the munchies, you grab a spoon and tear it into a jar of peanut butter, some chocolate brownie frosting my wife had in the refrigerator, some strawberry jelly. Hell, I just stockpiled about 3,000 late-night gimmick calories that are going straight to my ass and my waist. Now, I know that I can't beat my genetics, and I'm not trying to. I hold fat around my waist, and you can't out-train a shitty diet. When you're training like me, and I said I was training like a puss, ain't no way I'm going to out-train all that shitty nutrition. So I had a little come-to-Jesus meeting with myself, and I've been in the gym hardcore for about 3 days, Fowler. I've been on a roll, and you're down there at the ranch. You're working out. How have you been as far as your motivation and your training? Because when we were in deer season this last year, we've been hunting down there together at the ranch for 7 years, and this was the first year that we started working out together. We got a badass power rack from Elite FTS. We got a Olympic barbell set. We got dumbbells to 100. We got a lat pull machine. We got the basics, and that's all we need. And we trained every single day, and we drank once a week, Saturday, and that's what I'm going to go back to, my six-pack Saturday night, as I call it. I got to stay off the booze for 6 days and just have 1 day of beer so I don't run off the rails. How you doing with your training down there, Fowler?
You know what, now that I got down here, I'm doing good. But back there in Rockport, I was so busy and working so late. By the time I'd get home, it's like, man, I don't feel like cooking. Even though we're doing the same diet and it's the same stuff, man, it's just, I'll just order a pizza. You know what? And then went and bought a bottle of Jack. And that's hassles right there, because I'm not, you drink the beer, I drink the Jack, and one turns into 2 or 3, go to bed, get up the next day, work all day, get home late, and it's like, man, do you want to cook? Do you want to go to the gym? Nah, hell, let's order Chinese. That's easy. Eat Chinese, drink a Jack, Coke, go to bed. So I came down here, didn't bring any booze. Well, that's wrong. I brought some Dos Equis. Truth be told. But I didn't bring any Jack. It's like I'm drying out, me and Lindsay Lohan down here. No, but once I get down here and get on my diet schedule, working out, then, I get back into it and it, fall into that rhythm. And once you get going, it's easy. But once you get off of the rails, man, it's easy to stay off, too.
I tell you what, if I'm doing pretty good. Like right now, I've got an 8-ounce glass of wine built into my diet, which I just started, 8 ounces. And I know you're doing about the same thing I am. That equates out to about 2 beers for you, actually about 1.5 beers, close, 3/4. Anyway, when you're talking about that Jack, and I know you're a Jack guy, I got off that vodka and whiskey I was drinking. I thought you stopped drinking the Jack.
I tried.
Oh, Jesus Christ, I tried. But to that point, now back in the day when you and I used to go off the rails 6-7 days out of the week, you're not doing that. You're just talking about you having a couple, but, the couple is what it is. You get a buzz. The point is you're stopping just at that minor buzz limit, but if you're trying to be at a caloric deficit and all of a sudden you've jacked in 800 calories of some sugar and some whiskey, you ain't going to be at a caloric deficit. So you can't do that. You can't out-train that, and unless you were to go through overdrive, but it's just not a good dynamic.
No, and it's not like it used to be. I mean, not, 4 or 5 every night. I may sit down and just 3 weeks ago, I was having 1 every night. That was a given. And every once in a while it'd ease into 2, and then I'd stop because, I don't want to wake up hungover.
Right.
I know I need to go to the gym. I don't want to start putting on weight. But, man, it's easy to get out of sync. And like I said, I'm getting back to where I need to be now that I'm here at the ranch. No booze, no hard liquor. Work all day and then get home and, relax for a minute and then go to the gym, get my workout in, get my meal in, and have my 2 beers. And then call it a night.
When I was talking to you last night on the phone, you said, I think you said words to the thing, goes, man, a guy don't have to work up too much of a thirst to saw through 2 beers. They disappear pretty quick, don't they?
Yeah, I guess I should buy 40 ounces instead of the 12-ounce bottles.
Oh, Jesus. But, you just can't have all that damn alcohol. And going back to me, I would be in my garage and I'd be on my cardio thing. And I've got one of those step mills with the rotating steps. And it's a pretty good ass-kicking workout if you turn that sumbitch up. And, it was the same thing I had, in the weight room. I was there doing cardio and I was kind of like just going through the motions. And I said, man, what are you doing? I said, you need to turn this thing up, man. So I cranked that thing up to a level 6, and I got a deep burn in my damn chest and started sweating bullets and impurities and horse shit out. And I finally had a damn good, cardio workout. And I'm not going crazy. I'm just doing 30 to 40 minutes just to put a little topper on my caloric deficit. I'm not trying to burn any muscle off, but the way my body works, I need a little bit of cardio to burn off some of that fat. But my point is, I had fallen into that complacent state of just going through the motions, and this is a whole long-winded diatribe that we're going through, but when you go to the gym and attack those weights, if you're committing an hour of your time to go into the gym, make the most of it. Don't just go through the motions because you're not doing yourself any good. Yeah, it's better than nothing, but it's like when I was on my damn treadmill. I said, man, wake the fuck up, you son of a bitch. I mean, that's the way I got to talk to myself, you piece of shit. And so I'd crank that treadmill out. And because if you're going to the gym, here's one thing that chaps my ass, is when, like, you see the people on the treadmills and they're talking on the phone or they're sending out text messages or they're reading books while they work out. Or, you shouldn't be able to read a book or look at your cell phone while you're doing cardio, working out. If you cannot dedicate at least 60 minutes of time to have a cell-free type environment so that you can improve yourself, then there's something wrong. And then you got that person over there that's on the treadmill, and they got that summit cranked up all the way, so you think it'd be doing some good, but they're hanging on to the rails. Well, shit, you're defeating the purpose of the incline by holding on to the rails. Lower that sumbitch and just let go of the damn things and actually do the work. And, if you're just going to the gym to go through your paces and, to be social or to do a little bit, that's your business and I'm cool with it. But most of you are just like me and have slid down into the gutter in your training. So you got to fucking wake the fuck up. Fowler, are you busting ass in your training now, or you just you got a goal in mind? What I'm doing right now, I got on the scale. I weigh 260 pounds. 260 pounds for me is about 20 too much because all my shit is around my waist. So I'm going down to 240, and the way I've got it calculated out is probably going to take me 12 to 16 weeks. So once I get to 240, then I'll decide where to go from there. Maybe I'll stop. Maybe I'll try to go down to 235. When I met Sly Stallone for my part in the Expendables back in the day, I weighed 237 pounds in that meeting, and I liked the way I looked. I liked the way I felt. I didn't, wasn't as massive, no, but I felt better. So that's my goal, and I'm going to stay with you every single week while I'm doing this show. I'm going to check in, and I'm going to give you my body weight. And on the next show, I'll talk about the workout that I'm putting myself through, and I'll talk about the caloric numbers that I'm taking in and how I configured that. So, Fowler, let me go back to you. What's your goal as we speak as far as your training?
Man, I want to drop more weight. I'm down 10 pounds from when we started last deer season. I was 252 when we started working out last deer season. And I got down to about 233, and now I'm at 240, so I kind of, gained some of it back. No, but I need to just, dry out, get myself back in the gym and go at it hard. I'm laughing because you're talking about, the people that get on the treadmill and they're talking on the phone and all that. Before we started working out last deer season, remember, I'm the guy that had the exercise bike down there in Rockport. And I'd sit on that thing with a Jack and Coke watching TV riding for 30 minutes thinking, boy, I'm really accomplishing something. Yeah, but, it's easy to get motivated when you look in the mirror and you start putting on a few pounds.
Well, I tell you what, it's downright depressing for me. And the thing about my genetics is I can get in real good shape, and I think, man, shit, I can have a couple of beers now. And then, I got away with that day, and I'll just keep going. And then, 2 months will go by, And then that third month will go by, and I've been looking good for like 2.5 months, and all of a sudden, wham! It's like a sucker punch. I've just added on 15 pounds and seemingly overnight. Dude, it's depressing because you start to look good, you're in a good headspace, all of a sudden you wake up and you smell that fucking coffee and you see that waistline, you're like, man, really? I'm going to do this to myself again? Really? I got to go back through the cycle? And there's people listen to me and goes, I know, I'm there. I've done it many times. So I'm telling you right now, dude, when I get down to 240, we're doing a six-pack Saturday night because I ain't going to stop drinking. I ain't going to lie to you. I like drinking beer. I like having a vodka, this, that, or whatever, but I got to keep it down to the Friday and Saturday or Saturday and Sunday, however we're going to call it down there at the ranch this year. We're going to bust ass and keep our asses in shape. So to all you people down there that are listening, asking about motivation, man, I get the highs and I get the lows just like anybody else. At the end of the day, I'm motivated by what I see in the mirror. I'm motivated because I want to take care of myself. Back in the old days when I was bulletproof, I didn't give a flying shit about anything because I could get away with a lot more back in the day. But now, man, I'm 48 trying to make myself last as long as I can. So I'll see you on Thursday, Fowler, and then we're going to have a bust-ass workout and keep this summit on the rails. No more of that lollygagging and pussyfooting around and drinking every night. That shit don't work.
No, I'm down with that.
So, hell, Telly, let's wrap it up. Let's break it down. Basically, if you're going to set goals, you got to have realistic expectations. Now, because I'm talking about going from 260 to 240 pounds. Now, I'm the kind of guy, since I started this diet, I'll weigh myself 6 times a day if I let myself. And I ain't going to wake up tomorrow and be a lean, mean 240. It ain't going to happen. So I'm going to have to go through the process. It's going to take me 12 or 16 weeks, but I can get there. So I've got a realistic expectation. I have set my goal. It's 240 pounds. I've got to be consistent. I can't be all over the place with my diet. I've got to maintain that thing. Don't go off the rails. Consistency is key. And basically, hey, man, I see a bunch of cats in the gym all the time. And there's no sense in trying to compete with anybody else. You're competing with yourself. You're the cat that's got to make that cat in the mirror happy. So don't worry about what others do. Different strokes for different folks, different workouts for different cats, different diets for different folks. You got to find out what works for you. I'm going to talk more about working out, more about the diet I'm implementing on the next show. But let's wrap that up. Let's call it a day on the training. I'm motivated because I need to be in a good headspace. I need to feel good and look good, and I got to compete with myself. Teddy, you good with that?
Yeah. No, it's the same here. You know, I mean, I'm competing with myself. You know,
hey, let me ask you something.
Let
me ask you something, Teddy. Yeah. Now you and I have known each other for 7-8 years now. So I get these highs and lows. When I'm looking good, I feel pretty good in the head. Do you have those doldrums too, or?
Oh, absolutely. When the diet's right and I'm working out hard at the gym, you know, I feel good. I think I look good, and you know, psychologically, yeah. I mean, everything is good to go. You know, happy to get up in the morning. Just can't wait to get to the gym and bust ass and, you know, work up a sweat and, you know, just keep going. You know, and then once you slip a little bit, it's like, shit, here we go.
It's easy to go off the rails.
Oh, yeah.
And but I tell you, man, there ain't nothing like the feeling after a hell of a cardio session or a hell of a weight session, especially in my regards. I mean, you know, I'm still of the mindset when I'm in there, I'm trying to build mass. I'm not trying to destroy mass. I'm trying to maintain. So that's still my mindset, although I'm trying to strip fat. All right, you're over in the other room. What are you doing to work out, stay fit?
Steve, I don't do shit.
You lucky motherfucker.
Yeah, I don't do anything, man. I used to run. I run like a gazelle, and when I was in my younger years and less busy, I ran all the time. I mean, here's the thing, dude. I'm 28 years old. I've never weighed over 135 pounds in my entire life.
Dude, do you eat?
Yeah, I eat so much shit. I eat such high cholesterol fast food all the time. Just crap, man. And I think, like, right now, I'm at 134.
Fowler, what'd you say?
I said I got a blanket at the house. It's 28.
Dude, all right, you're a musician, right?
Yeah, I dabble around a little bit.
You drink?
I do not drink, actually.
And you eat anything on the sun?
Yeah.
You're just one of them lucky cats.
Yeah, it's unexplainable, man. It's like I'm an anomaly.
How many pull-ups can you do?
Actually, you know what, Fowler? I could probably knock out 15 pull-ups right now.
See, he's one of those kind of cats that you see on the playground, and all everybody's trying to impress everybody with how many pull-ups they can do, and I could do about 5. And then he jumps up there and rips off about 15 or 20. That like the human ant. They're way stronger than they look. And those motherfuckers used to piss me off.
Duh.
Art, are you that guy, the human ant?
This is going to be a great working relationship, I can tell. I'm just going to frustrate the shit out of you on a weekly basis.
Well, I tell you what, you're going to have to come down to the Broken Skull Ranch and man up on a drinking session on the one day that me and Fowler go off the rails.
With you and Fowler, I'd be happy to just get fucking blasted, especially because I don't drink. It'll be a fun time. You give me one drink, and I'll be slurring all over the place.
Dude, you see, here's the thing. If you're going to drink, you can't be a sloppy drunk, Art.
Well, I'm not a sloppy drunk, but
Okay.
I'm a very fun drunk. I'm an excellently fun drunk.
Okay, so now you're talking about drinking. So how often are you getting drunk every year?
Oh, dude, this year alone, I think I've been drunk twice.
Did you mark those events in your calendar?
I believe one was back in March and one was back in February.
Well, you know what? And that's a good thing because, shit. But you know what? I looked back, Fowler, when you and I were going off the rails every single night at the Broken Skull, I was probably going through a fifth, and that's when I slowed down. I was going through a fifth of vodka every 2 days. That would be, 3.5 fifths a week? But hell, now I've cut that into whatever just 6 beers a week is compared to that. So I was doing pretty damn good.
And alcohol, it plays an important role, I think, in the whole weight gain, weight loss. My girl, she'll drink beer. She's a beer drinker, and if she drinks beer and she's drinking it on a consistent basis, she gets pissed because she develops a little bit of a gut within a week or two, and it plays a heavy role into whether.
So
or not,
break this down for me, Art. So what do you do? Say, hey, honey, you got a beer gut.
I'll tell her she's fat. Absolutely. I'll say, hey, what the hell's going on here?
How long you been with this gal?
What are you doing? I've known her for more than 14 years. We've been together for about a year and a half.
And she ain't got no problem with you telling her she got a beer gut?
No.
Well, that's good. That's
she would have to be cool with that because she would tell me, too. We're very honest, open with one another.
I dig that.
Well, you tell a girl in Texas she's got a beer gut, she's liable to hit you right in the mouth.
Look like a pot-bellied pig.
Hey, listen, we've been talking about health and fitness, motivation, working out, the Broken Skull Ranch, building deer rifles, it's dove season, all kinds of goofy shit, and the price of my Cialis and my Ambien, which is driving me to drink more alcohol than I'm drinking, $659 a month.
Why do you even do that math? Why do you want to know that number? I wouldn't want to know that.
Because I'm cheap.
I am too. That's why I wouldn't want to do it. I know I'm spending that much. I would say I don't even want to know.
I don't like to say I'm cheap. I'm frugal. I value $1. I know how much work it took to make that $1. So I'm not one that just wants to let it go that easy. And you got to dig that.
I guess it's cost-benefit analysis.
Well, it's like I'm down with that. But it's like an old wrestling promoter used to tell us when nobody was making no money. They look at you after you got your paycheck, and the paycheck wasn't worth a shit, and they say, "Oh hell, kid, don't worry. It ain't what you make; it's what you save." Well, the old deal. If you ain't making shit, you can't save shit. So it's from that mentality, and also the mentality of Ted. You know my dad. My dad is so meticulous with balancing his checkbook. He's old school. He still balances his checkbook once a month. And, mister, if there's a penny off that sumbitch, he is irate. And my dad can squeeze a penny until that motherfucker squalls. That sumbitch knows how to save money. So I guess I kind of inherited it from my job in the wrestling business and from my dad. But, well, hell, Ted, with that being said, I'm going to let you get on back to business down there at the ranch. I will see you in 2 days. Are you going to be able to return to work, or are you just going to be able to chill for the rest of the day? What are you going to do?
Oh, I'll probably try to work a little bit later on this afternoon.
All right.
The sun's actually coming out. If the wind would pick up and dry things out, that'd sure help. But I'll probably work a little bit this afternoon.
Well, all right, Ted, I'll let you get back to it. At Ted Fowler 361. I'm Steve Austin, BSR. Art, what's your handle over there?
That's at Arthur H. Webb, 2 B's, W-E-B-B.
You heard the man push the follow button. Fowler, I'll catch you down the road. Let's move on and answer some questions you sent in to questions@steveaustonshow.com. This one came to me from Alex over in Nashville, Tennessee. He said, Steve, really enjoy the show. I listen to it every week. I started listening while I lived in Japan, but now back home in Tennessee, and I got a few questions. One, how can I get updates on future guests so I could send an email or question to possibly be asked on the show? Well, see, that's the thing about it, Alex. The way my brain works, I don't know what's going to happen next. I really don't. So it's hard for me to just say in advance who's going to be on the show. If I get a little heads up, I'll post it on the SteveAustinShow.com website, which we are now working on, and that might be a little bit of heads up for you. Question 2 from Alex was, he makes the comment, really loved the Bret Hart episode. You mentioned having a second one where you break down your matches together. I would love to hear that, and I think many others would too. And I want to have Bret back on the show. He's going to come back on. We're going to continue talking. We'll talk about WrestleMania 13 in Chicago. And Alex goes on to say he also supports the idea of me hosting a show where a few wrestlers come on and you break down the current product and past events. I'm thinking about adding a third show to my rotation. It will be Steve Austin breaking down Monday Night Raw. If you were down with this, just say hell yeah in regards to the third show to questions@steveaustinshow.com. Right now, 2 shows has got me pretty damn busy with everything I got going on. But if there is a lot of support for this third show where I break down Monday Night Raw, I will do it. Send your response to questions@steveaustinshow.com. Here's one that says, hey, Steve, I'm loving the podcast. Really refreshing to hear your straight-up opinion on things. Hey, man, that's the way I break it down, straight up. That said, my question is this. How can a no-bullshit guy stay afloat in the bullshit-filled waters of Hollywood? Movie deals, screen time, agents, producers demanding this and that. Can't be easy, right? Man, I tell you what, when I first came out here to Los Angeles, you would go to a meeting and meet someone, and they would be like, oh, yeah, man, it's great to meet you. I can't believe we've never done anything before, and here's 2 or 3 scripts. Take these home, and we'll get back in touch with you. Shit. I'd walk out of that damn meeting with a couple of scripts thinking, man, I just got myself a movie. No, man, you didn't get shit. They was giving you the same runaround they give every other rookie that comes into this town. I've been in Los Angeles almost going on 10 years. I can smell bullshit a mile away. And the bullshit in the Hollywood business is about the same as the bullshit in the wrestling business. There's just more of it out here. So, man, it is what it is. I worked my way into the system. And my theory is this. If you can just come out to L.A. and find a little bit of work and hang on long enough, you can make it. And back in the day, I had to put up with a little bit of bullshit because you got to pay your dues and earn your stripes and all that other stuff that everybody else has already done. But these days, with the time that I have invested in everything that I've done, I really don't give a shit. I can smell bullshit a mile away, and I won't put up with anything. You know, I treat people with respect. I respect their time, and I want them to respect my time and my value as well. So I take a no bullshit approach. It is what it is, and I've learned to improvise, overcome, and adapt, as our great military does all the time. Shout out to the United States Armed Forces, greatest armed forces in the world. Here's one from Kyle. He saw a tweet from Mo that he isn't going to be working on the show anymore. I couldn't believe it. Is there anything you can tell us about this? Yeah, there is. All I can say is Mo is no longer here on the Steve Austin Show. It is what it is, and it was what it was. Hey, Taylor from Toronto says, hey, Steve, how do you get your protein and manage to keep muscle while being on the road? Thanks. Hey, Taylor, I'm not really on the road anymore, but back in the day when we were traveling, all the guys knew all the stops to go places to eat clean. Now, with as much stuff that was going on the road with drinking and everything like that, all of the guys are pretty much gym fanatics and go to the restaurants and eat clean food. And whether that's a Denny's, an IHOP, or a Waffle House, you can get grilled chicken breasts, you can get steamed hash browns, you can get rice and all that other stuff. So it was easy to find protein on the road. All you had to do was hit the restaurants and order clean. And a lot of the guys, including myself, carried protein powders with them. It's survival of the fittest out there, and you've got to take care of your body. Getting protein is damn sure important. We made sure we did. Here's one from Jordan. She says, how do you pick yourself up on one of those days where it seems like everything is going wrong? You know what, Jordan? I have one of those days every now and then. Sometimes you can get a couple of them strung together. And, hey, man, there's always something to look forward to. You just can't stay down in the doldrums. Life is too short to stay down. And we're all going to have our highs and lows, and we're all going to have problems that happen here and there and things that we don't like, but you always got to pick your head up, move forward, and leave everything else behind. Stay positive, even in moments when things aren't so positive around you. Here's one from Rich over there in Kentucky. Steve, any advice you could give this generation of young Americans growing up in this tough economy? You're one of the only people I will take advice from. So any tips on how to keep our heads above water? I tell you what, Rich, it's tough times out there right now. The economy, everybody says it's coming around. Maybe not so much. I don't know what to say. I don't really have an answer to fix or help the economy. I can just tell you, man, save your money, work your ass off, try to find a second or third job, man. There's people out there doing that, kicking and scratching, trying to make it. Times are tough right now. So all I can say is keep your head up above water, save your money, don't spend your money on stupid shit, prioritize, make you a budget, stay square. Here's an interesting email right here. Now, this is what I'm talking about. Finally, a relationship question. This is from Jimmy Jack, and I've changed the name to protect the innocent. Here it goes. Hi, Steve. I've gotten back with my ex, but I don't know if I've done it just because I was lonely on my own or because I couldn't be without her. On my own, I missed her terribly, but now we're back together. I miss my single lifestyle and being my own boss. Help. P.S. If you respond, please don't use my full name. Jimmy Jack, I tell you what, dude, you didn't wait long enough. You got insecure and you jumped back in that relationship too fast, it sounds like to me. I think you should have waited it out a little bit more, and now that you're back together, I don't know what to tell you. Maybe you really need to sit down at a table, the both of you, and have a very honest and open session of communication where you put all your cards on the table. You tell her how you feel. She puts her cards on the table, and you come up with something. You decide to split apart and go your own ways. Or you go to counseling and get the help of a professional. You're talking to me, and I'm sitting in front of a microphone in Los Angeles, California. I've been down the road a few times in this situation before. Maybe you need help, dude. Maybe I'll need some counseling. But it sounds like you jumped back together too soon, buddy. All right, you're somewhat of a lover in there at 28 years of age. You got any advice for Jimmy Jack?
I think what you said was actually pretty dead on. I don't have much more I would add. You got to talk, and you got to be open, and you got to communicate. It's
open communication. That's what I've said about my wife that makes our relationship so good. My wife is a special education teacher, 20 years teaching, and man, sometimes I'm not the greatest communicator in the world, and we don't sweep anything under the carpet like I used to would try to do because I'm a guy. Guys are dumb. I don't do that anymore. So sit down, Jimmy Jack, have a conversation with your gal. I'm sure she's a great person, and so are you. Hammer this out, and the important thing is for both of you to come out of this happy and move on down the road.
I think one of the things that you did touch on that's important is the counseling and bringing in a neutral party that can assess the situation from an outsider's perspective where there is not like emotion involved that they're getting caught up in as well,
and I dig that because, I went to counseling a couple of times. Sometimes they can stir the damn pot as much as anything, but they bring some of the issues that you're not able to confront on your own into the conversation. So, yeah, another good piece of advice. Here's one. It's from, I won't mention his name, but he sent this in. Dig this. Steve, thank you for your candid and frank conversations about drug and alcohol abuse. I am undertaking my own fight with drinking. Conversations and guests on your show are my main motivation. I am not an alcoholic, but when I turned 30 and realized I was still drinking as much as I was at 21, I decided I should drink less. I am a truck driver. My drinking has never affected my work. I obviously would never drink and drive a truck and can be on the road for days and even weeks without ever touching the stuff or even thinking about it or wanting any. I'm just drinking while I'm at home, having fun and relaxing. As I cut back on drinking recently, I realized that while at home, it is almost impossible for me to relax and have fun without drinking. I have decided that at least temporarily I'm going to completely stop, not just slow down. To help pacify my want, I'm going to stock my cooler with a non-alcoholic near beer and take an idea from you and buy me some of that fancy bubbling water. Pellegrino sparkling water, or you can go into discount water. Sparkling water. It feels like beer, but it's water. I drink a lot of beer and very little liquor, so hopefully it will be an easy gap to bridge. On my motivation, Shawn Michaels is one of the biggest. I heard him say in an interview once that because the shit wasn't affecting his work or life, he didn't feel he had a problem. I felt that way for a long time as well, and I'm trying to use that as motivation. I also never realized Paul Levesque was always clean until it came up on your show. Today I listened to the podcast with the King and learned he has always been squeaky clean. Well, damn it, if they can be, so can I. Trucker Tom. You know what? It takes a lot of guts for a guy to write something like that in. You know, some guys are dumb, some guys are too proud, some guys are stubborn. Tom, I wish you all the luck in the world. I'm glad you could find some motivation in some of the stories you hear here on the show and through Shawn Michaels. I wish you all the best and good luck. Everything in moderation. I dig it the most. Thank you, Tom. And with that, I want to thank everybody for sending their questions, comments, and suggestions to questions@steveaustenshow.com. Send me more. I dig answering these things. Love talking to the working man. And with that being said, I appreciate you showing your support by going to steveaustenshow.com and clicking on the Amazon link, because when you go to Amazon and do your shopping, it gives a kickback and helps keeps the show on the air for free. I dig it. I love talking to the working man. This is Steve Austin. I'll catch your ass down the road.
Thank you for joining us for another classic episode of The Steve Austin Show. Please leave a rating and review on Apple Podcasts and tell your friends. For more Steve Austin Show, go to PodcastOne.com. That's PodcastOne.com.
This Is Monsters is a true crime podcast and YouTube channel where I tell the stories of the worst people on the planet. Though the stories of the victims are told, we focus on the monster who carried out the evil act. The show is split into seasons, and each season has a theme. In Season 1, we covered cases of filicide, which is the act of a parent killing their own child. In Season 2, we covered cases of people killing for love. We recently finished up Season 3, where we covered cases of parricide, which is the act of someone killing their parents. Tune in now as we start Season 4, where we dive into the minds of family annihilators, sick individuals who decided to destroy their entire families. Check us out anywhere that you listen to podcasts or on YouTube by searching This Is Monsters.
Yo, what's good? It's your boy, Big Brother Jake, a.k.a. Jake Warner. My government name. Check it out. I host a show called the Big Brother Jake Podcast, and I've taken my talents to the biggest and baddest platform on the planet. That's right, baby. PodcastOne. My show is unique as I talk about everything. Life, sports, entertainment, being a single dad juggling several jobs. I'm a hot mess, but it's damn entertaining. Subscribe and review now on Apple Podcasts and listen on PodcastOne or wherever you get your podcasts.